Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am getting a chance to play with the Spellbinders small die kit of the month. They sent this to me to play with and I had a lot of fun. So if you are or have an aversion to really bright colors, this video may not be for you. So watch or beware. I went crazy with the color. So let's have some fun. Okay, this is the large die that comes with the kit. And I was so excited to see that these little butterflies don't cut all the way out. Instead, they pop up off the paper. I thought that was so fun. Yes, I am very easily amused. And then I cut out the rest of the dies that came with it. And so you have this little greeting, says spring greetings. You have flowers, stems. So the flowers look like daisies, tulips, and then a butterfly. And then just a couple different kinds of stems. So they all come with it as well. Okay, so I get all that cut out. And now I'm going to start my coloring. So I decided to use alcohol markers on this piece right here. I obviously placed my little white piece of paper underneath so that I can be a little messy with it if I wanted. I went through and colored all of the stems green, and I just used these colors here. Now, when I got to coloring my flowers, I started to notice that there were pieces that I missed, so you'll probably want to keep your markers out and easy to grab, because I had to go back and forth quite a few times because it's hard to see when everything's connected, like where exactly things should stop. And so just a little tip there. For the purples, as you can see with Spectrum Noir, the caps don't really match the colors that are coming out. And so it's important that you have a color chart or that you scratch off on the side of the paper like I have done here so that you can kind of see which colors blend together. I do have an empty color chart that I could email to you. If you just want to send me an email, I'll shoot that right over to you. It's very, very helpful in my coloring with Spectrum Noir. It is a full sheet of all the colors that I have, and so well, pretty much all the ones that existed at the time when I bought them, and it's just super helpful. And then I laminated it, and so I keep it away from any light source so that it doesn't fade. Okay, so I went again. You see me going through here. I took a Wink of Stella silver glitter brush, and I'm going to color in the backside of the butterfly here. I just thought that was softened this up a little bit, even though this whole entire card process is like really bright and colorful, which is not 100% my norm. I wouldn't say that I don't use bright colors, but all at once I would say I don't. I usually stick to like one theme of colors that may be bold or bright. And so this was, for me, pretty different to do here. So for the butterfly, you want to put something underneath it like I'm doing here, just so that you don't cross-contaminate your colors. And Adia, I was stuck because I had the purple and the pink, and I was like, Adia, I need your help. So I called her over and I said, what color should these butterflies be? And she said, blue. And she goes, a real light blue. So for me, this is bluish, tealish, aqua green. And so I went with that. And then the bottom, I wanted to make it neutral. So you can see me going back and forth with all four of these colors, and it looks splotchy. So then I take the fat part of the marker, which probably none of us ever use, and I went over it that way, and it smoothed it right out. So that big side does have a purpose. That was nice to find out. On the greetings here, for spring greetings, I'm doing an ombre look with the same color pinks that I used for the flowers. And I like the way that this comes out. It just gives it a nice little touch here. A little ombre action happening. Okay, so I get that done. Now this is how I store my stencils. I'm looking for a stencil now that is going to be on the background so I can place my die cut just right over it. And I don't want it to overtake it, but I want it to be a wow enough stencil to just make me happy. So I'm going through and I'm like, back it up. There it is on the left-hand side. That's the one. And so this is like a honeycomb stencil. I love that this is adhesive because it sticks right to my cardstock. There's a couple that I have. I think the ones from the Dollar Tree, called, the brand name is Jot. I think those are actually adhesive too, which are just so fun. So right here I am stenciling on my honeycomb, and I am using my brand new brushes that I got from Amazon, my makeup brushes. I seriously, there's like very minimal things that I regret in life. And one of my regrets is that I bought 30,000 of the blending tools with the little circle foams, because I don't think I'll ever pick them up again. I'm just being honest with everybody. So I'm like, oh goodness, I have like every color that you can imagine. I have one for every color of Distress Oxide pretty much. And so I'm just kicking myself. But anyway, okay, let's not focus on what the bad is. Let's focus on the good, that these new makeup brushes are the beeswax. Love them. Haha, bees. See what I did there with the honeycomb? Okay, so that now I'm using some spray adhesive that's not in the aerosol can. It's this stuff right here. It's amazing. I love it. It's I can use it indoors. It's just like, you know, any other spray bottle. It's great. And then I just slap down my greetings. Those are intricate, so they do take a while if you want to use some liquid adhesive on that. I'm going to go through and color up with some Spectrum Noir sparkle pen here, just to give it some glitz and glam. And I really love the way that this background came out. I didn't say much because I was jibber-jabbering, but I love that it's dark in the center and fades out. It's turned out exactly how I wanted it, exactly how I envisioned it. And then lastly, I'm going to take this Stardust pen and I'm going to just add some accent pieces to my butterflies. And now I'm taking a silver marker, which is a scrapbook.com marker, the best silver marker I've ever used in all of my days. It's a little on the thick side, but it's like legit. And I'm just making dots in different random places on my butterflies there, just to add that a little bit of fun there. And that'll finish this first card here. Here's some close-ups here. You can kind of see what I was talking about and where I was going with it. I'm really happy with the way that this one came out. All right, so we're going to move on to the second card here, still using this stencil, and I'm going to start in the lower left-hand corner, and I'm going to make it nice and saturated down there. That's the look I'm going for is kind of like a dark concentrated faded out, similar to what I did in the last card, only the concentrated portion was in the center of the card. This is going to be more so down in the lower left. And you want to be careful with the right-hand side of that stencil because the card stock is showing, so you don't want to make that harsh line by going over the stencil, because that will just, you'll probably have to cut that off. It'll just look silly. And so again, just going over with these brushes, you want to, you can build it up nicely. Here I'm wiping that brush off on a baby wipe and then a microfiber cloth. Thank you very much, subscribers, for telling me to do that, because it does make a difference. And you can just move right into the next color. It doesn't even have to be in the yellow colored family. Love the brushes. Did I say that yet? You're all like, shut up, Mary, we got it. Okay, so now I've die cut this again with some Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I'm cutting out my butterflies. I'm going to round out some of those edges of the butterfly so it makes it look nice and neat. And here you have an extra die cut pieces from your big die cut piece. So I think that's great because it's versatile and it's just fun to play with. I'm, like I said, using Bristol Smooth cardstock, so I'm using Arteza markers. I picked out 3 similar colors to the ones that I used in the last card. I thought they went really nicely together. And I'm just using a water brush to pull out that color. On this card, I used my favorite combination of inks here from my Arteza stash. And then I'm just pulling that out. Now, I'm happy with this first go-around, but I'm not happy with the go-around of the pink and the teal. And so I go back and I touch that up. Here you can see me doing again with the same color, and I'm going to darken that center. And with Artezas or Zigs, I think that's really beneficial to do a second coat of your coloring sometimes, because it does exactly what you want. It pops it out. I decided to use a little bit of the magenta color on the center of this butterfly because that light pink was just not what I was going for. And so now I'm really happy with the way they came out. I took some gold glitter cardstock and I am cutting out the word spring with that sentiment die here. I love that this kit came with sentiments because sometimes if they're just dies, I struggle with trying to figure out what sentiments to use. So that made it nice and easy for me. I'm touching these up with some Nuvo Sparkle Pen, and then I am going to, again, use my spray adhesive on the word spring. And you want to put something heavy on that just to kind of hold it down. I did put a block on there, I just didn't show it. On the butterflies, I'm using liquid adhesive just around the outside of them so I can have their little wings popping up. I definitely don't want to lose that feature with with die cutting them out. You can definitely glue them flat down and they'd be so cute. I just really like that pop-up effect. And then lastly, I'm going to take some gold Nuvo drops and I'm going to make sort of like a little line of drops that are connecting the butterflies. I thought that was really fun and it added really nicely. I consider this a clean and simple card for me. I know it's got a background and I know, you know, there's lots of color, but I just like the focal point of being the butterflies. So again, this one, I just had fun playing with this. I thought it came out really nice. All right, there's some close-ups of that one. So moving on to the last and final card in this video, I am taking out some distress inks, regular distress inks, and I believe that this is 80-pound Neenah Solar White. So if you saw my review video on these brushes, I was super impressed that these brushes worked well with distress ink on Neenah. I always struggle with distress ink, period, but then to have like that combination work, I was just blown away. I was like, listen, I don't know what sorcery they put into these brushes, but it's a good deal. So then I'm just putting up some, I think that's Mowed Lawn and some Twisted Citron to get a nice bright green background. And then I did my blue circle there with some Salty Ocean. And that's going to be my focal point for the center of the card. So I went through here and took a little sponge dauber and some white pigment ink, and now I'm going to just make some clouds. So these clouds are made from a Lawn Fawn border die, a cloud border die into some cardstock, and that's just going to be my stencil for the moment. I have some stencil paper, I guess it's not paper, but like stencil material, and I'm going to start making a couple of my own stencils because I just think that they're more durable that way and it's just easier to do. I didn't show you what I'm doing here with all the colors, but I took 4 different distress inks and I pulled them out. I have to say, last thing on these brushes are making me love my distress inks again. I have fallen back in love and we are having so much fun together in the most recent of my videos. And so I'm really happy about that because anytime I get an opportunity to pull out stuff that I have and use it, that's always a good thing, right? So I colored up, and Adie is helping me here, you can see that. And then I cut out all of those flowers and stems with the color that I've just laid down on the paper. I was using Bristol Smooth paper there, by the way. And now I'm going to put together my card. So I placed down my little grass there, and then I'm going to use my pickup tool. This is my jewel picker, and it's going to help me. I put dots of glue on the end of all those stems, and then it's just going to help me lay down those. Now this jewel picker really wouldn't work so much on paper, but I put some of that blue putty that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree on the end of my jewel picker, and if the stick goes away, I can use more blue putty, and I have enough blue putty to last me until my grandchildren are crafting with me. So it's really great. You just grab that up at the Dollar Tree. And now I'm just placing down all of my flowers. I know this is an egregious amount of flowers, but I said it's spring, right? This is a spring card. So we want to see all the spring on one panel. And I get that down. Now I'm going to take what is this, coral, abandoned coral, I believe this color was. And I am going to cover a panel. I originally had a really, like a green bottom and a blue top of this, but it was just way too much color, if I can say that. And so I just thought, you know what, let's just do a soft matching color. The abandoned coral is what's on the flowers on the card, and so I just went with this. It softened it up a little bit. Did some water droplets there, and then I'm going to use my corner rounder punch, and I am going to just soften that again. I love this corner rounder punch because you can get 2 different sizes of them, like a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch. I use the 1/2 inch on this. I am going to lay down my butterfly and my greetings sentiment there. And I'm kind of putting the greeting over some of those stems, so you want to hold it down for a little bit, just so that you don't have any issues with it popping up. For the back of my circle, I just cut out a piece of foam with the same circle die, and then I'm going to trim that down because I don't like when the circle sticks out the side. And so this gets rid of that problem very easily. And then I'm going to pull off my score tape there and place it down on my panel. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to round the corners of my card base as well, just so that everything matches. But that'll do it for this card. Finishing off with a little bit of that silver marker just to get some of those dots again. And that's it. I hope you guys like these 3 cards that I used. This was the Spellbinders Small Die Kit of the month. I had so much fun with this, and it was really nice to kind of break away from the 11-degree weather outside and have some fun with some spring. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let me know if you have any questions. I love talking to you guys in the comment section. I will list everything I used below the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.